Why do we condition ourselves to be fools? Arrogance is a form of self-deception, a tool used by the ego to make it seem stronger. It is how ego protects itself by rejecting whatever opposes it. This video is about arrogance and how arrogance restrict your growth and how to overcome that and be open-minded. The first thing I want you to understand is the difference between arrogance and confidence. I don't know if I've talked about ego before on this channel, but ego is not who you are. Ego is something that is in your mind which acts on its own, which has a different mind of its own. It does things that you may or may not want it to do, but it does it anyways because it can. What these people do with arrogance is that they go out looking for things to confirm what they already believe. This is called a confirmation bias, where they will not take any information that is contradicting their current beliefs. They won't take it and look at it at face value. They won't judge it. They won't decipher it to understand whether if that's the truth or not. They'll check if it confirms their beliefs, confirms whatever they think. If it confirms, they'll go ahead with it, they'll accept it. If it doesn't, they will reject it. And this will lead them to go into echo chambers. Echo chambers is where they surround themselves with the people who believe the same thing so that they can feel comfortable and they can feel confident about the things that they already believe, so that it's a way of coping, so that they can reinforce the belief that they already have, so that they don't have to face the fear of being wrong. That is because arrogance is a very comfortable place. Even though you have to have a rock hard head, you don't have to change. You can just be the same and continue on believing what you have already believed. And it's a comfort as opposed to change, as opposed to understanding and accepting something that could be the truth, contradicting to what you believe, which is a bit more painful thing to do because your identity is being affected by it. Your ego is being accepted by it. When you accept that you're wrong, someone else becomes right. When you decide to lose, someone else wins, and your ego can't accept it. I heard this quote somewhere, and I may be wrong, but it said, the really intelligent person knows what he does not know. Knowing what you don't know is better than being arrogant, because then you know exactly what you need to learn, and the things that you don't know yet, you don't have to make decisions on. Instead, you can ask people. When you're arrogant, it's very difficult to take advice from others because that would mean that that person could be better than you. That would hurt your ego once again. And the problem with this is that this arrogance, this ego will make you blind and you don't see the truth anymore. You only want to confirm what you already believe, and it's a really bad rabbit hole, and I would recommend you not to go down that, because that will stay with you forever. And the more arrogant you are, the harder it is to break out of it, because and people will notice that. The people around you will notice that you're arrogant. They'll try to make you understand some things for some time. Then when they realize that you will not understand and that you're arrogant, they will decide that maybe next time onwards, just whenever you say something, just say yes, because it doesn't matter if they explain to you in the most simple term, because you wouldn't understand it. And what I've noticed is that when we were kids, we used to not have any arrogance. We used to be curious and we used to ask a lot of questions. We used to admit the fact that we don't know things, and we used to ask questions. And when we started growing up, we started asking less questions, and that makes us more dumb. And that is what's happening. The more your ego grows as well, the less questions you'll ask. The more you think you can figure it out on your own, the less advice you'll take. You'll go waste your time on things that you didn't have to waste your time on, and that is going to restrict you from your growth. When you're arrogant, you're constantly in a struggle to you're constantly in the fear that maybe if I'm wrong, if someone knows that I'm wrong, I'll be attacked. But if you have an open mind, if you're ready to accept what people are going to say, that is given that it is the truth, then you won't struggle as much, because now you're sitting there, you don't have an ego that you have to protect while listening to someone speak. If someone opposes your ideology, you can admit that, okay, maybe you have something that I can take. Maybe I'll reevaluate what I think already. I will question and I will consider what you said so that maybe I can make a difference. Or if it's not valid enough for me, I will just discard it. That is when you're open minded. You don't have enough pressure to protect an ego within you. And that ego is very strong, let me tell you. And some things that the arrogant people do, and I've noticed, is that usually they use the phrase, I knew it, and I get it, I knew it already. And how you'll notice that they're arrogant is that they'll say it after the use for that information is done. You're about to do something, they won't tell you anything, and after you fail, they'll be like, I knew it because you did this wrong. Then you tell them, why didn't you tell me earlier? Be like, eh. That's the problem. That's what I see with these arrogant people. That's what I see with this ego that is not helping anyone. And did they know it already? God knows. Another thing is that I know you have to reject a lot of feedback. I've told this before as well. You have to reject a lot of feedback that's coming at you, because a lot of that is just noise. But when you're arrogant, your default state is no, I don't want to hear that. The problem with that is that you will miss out on the valuable feedbacks that could be coming from the noise, and you won't be able to notice it because you're discarding it. Or even though you will listen to it for the sake of listening, so that you can make your point more potent, so that you listen so that you can make your argument stronger. Every conversation you have to win if you're arrogant, and that is not going to end good for you, because people are going to see that you're seeing this as a competition, and people are going to notice that you just want to win an argument and you just want to make a point, and they let you make a point, but they won't give a shit about your point because they know you're arrogant. Like I said, when you're arrogant, people notice that, and they don't want to help you out, because you don't want to accept help when you're arrogant, because that would attack your ego. Now, if I see an arrogant person making a mistake, if I go and tell them that, they'll be like, oh, I know it, I'm just I'm just something. And you won't feel like telling them ever again, because they didn't appreciate you helping them. Okay, fine. They didn't appreciate that they even made a mistake, and sometimes they don't even admit it to themselves that they made the mistake, and that is going to affect their journey a lot, and they don't realize it. And you may have also heard the quotes, if you are the smartest one in the room, you're in the wrong room. And exactly that. And if you feel like you know everything, try to surround yourself with people who know more than you, so that you can learn something from them. There is nothing that you're going to gain by being the star among the people who you feel don't know what you know. If you just stay there and try to be better than them, instead of being with people who are better off, you don't make any progress. If you're gonna live with a lot of pride that you can't correct yourself, being able to correct yourself in front of others, being able to, if you can accept that you've made a mistake in front of, let's say, a lot of people. Let's say you're giving a public speech, someone points you out and you say, sorry, I made a mistake. Then you can move forward to correct it. That shows how intelligent you are. Because if you are unable to admit mistakes because you are afraid of lowering how people perceive you, then that is a fake representation of who you are. That is something that does not actually exist. You made that up, and that is going to fall one day. That day is going to come, maybe tomorrow, maybe not in this year, but that day is going to come when that false illusion that you built up is going to fall. And that day, they will see for real who you actually are, and you won't be able to run anymore. I think that's it. I think I've made my points very clear, and you can click here somewhere for another video that will challenge your beliefs. Thank you.